Good morning, campers. So, I have another Flip-through Friday for you today. I've actually been quite good this month so far. Most of these books, well, it's all it's all kind of an argument in my head at this point, and I don't think it really counts, but I ordered a lot of these books before January the 1st because I was like, I'm not going to spend anything in January. And how my subconscious laughed and laughed. But again, that doesn't in my head that doesn't count, but it kind of counts. But anyway, other than that and the one Dover purchase I made, which was $4 for two of these books that I'm going to show you today, I haven't bought anything since then. So there was a little bit of a trip to Ollie's in that purchase, and past that point, I haven't bought any sort of coloring books or materials. I know, right? Like, clutch your heart on that one. But anyway, I had to split this one though. My book outlet haul was a pretty good one, so I had to split it into two parts. You'll get part of this stuff today, and then you'll get the rest next Friday, which includes Ollie's and then the rest of book outlets. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll work our way from smallest to largest book today. I've been getting quite a few of the smaller books recently. There we go. This is one of the two purchases I made off the Dover site. They were running, I think it was up to 50% off certain books, or I can't quite remember what the deal was, but I got this book and one other Creative Haven book for $4, which I don't consider a bad deal at all, and that includes no shipping on it. So I think I had some rewards I could redeem too. It was like a couple deals stacked on each other. This is the Joy coloring book. Let me zoom in on this one. There we go. This is a Bliss publication instead of a Creative Haven, but it's all under the umbrella of Dover. This is a smaller coloring book. When you look at it compared to a standard size book, we'll take Butterfly Mandalas for instance. And I probably should have done this before I zoomed in. You can see it is pretty small. I mean, I would say 30 to 40% of an average book size. So not quite 50, but maybe 40%. So there is that. Keep that in mind. That is the one thing I keep forgetting to check, is the size of the books before I purchase them. Why is there a shadow? Oh. Ay. Okay. That's a little better. Hopefully my microphone doesn't go sliding off. So this is the Joy coloring book. And of course it's got a cat on it. I don't think that was the reason I purchased it, but that is certainly a bonus. This is by Joe Taylor, which, funny enough, was also the author of the Butterfly Mandalas book I happened to grab. I did not do that on purpose, but that is a funny coincidence, nonetheless. Anyway, this is by Joe Taylor, and you get a nameplate page here on the front. For the Bliss books, it gives you a definition of bliss, and then it talks about this is supposed to be help as a calming type of coloring book to try to relax a little bit. I'm not going to read all of this, but it says, take a pleasant journey into a world of relaxation with Bliss Joy coloring book, your passport to calm. What is it that brings you joy? Sometimes it's just the little things like a bird's chirping, a fresh brewed mug of coffee, the softness of a sleeping cat. Well, I'll get to that one in a minute. Or reading a book, and so on. Yeah, the softness of the sleeping cat's relaxing until you have two or three of them fighting to lay on you. Has been a problem recently. So all of these, as far as I can tell, are single-sided. They do have little designs on the back pages. I believe it's the same one for each back of the page. The paper is nice. It reminds me of the Creative Haven paper. It might even be a little bit thicker. These are not perforated, so keep that in mind. and let's get started. Okay, maybe I did see the cat. Maybe that was part of it. So this would be a great book to take with you when running errands, when traveling. This with maybe some fine liners or gel pens or some really sharp colored pencils. Sorry, I just heard a really weird noise. Oh, okay. Cat snoring. Nothing new. Or even a really fine-tipped marker, like a ultra fine point Sharpie. These little brush tip Leisure Art ones would probably work well on this. You just have to be a little careful. These are single-sided. I would still put a protector page behind, as I'm sure these will bleed through similar to a Creative Haven page, so I would suggest putting something behind as a protector on the other page. But some of these are pretty small, detailed pieces, like this one, which is where I get the fine liners and the ultra fine points. Okay, hush, cat. You know it's bad when my cat snoring is drowning me out. If you were waiting in like a car lane to pick your kids up from school, something like that, this would be a good little book to take with you. Or if you just want something to color, but you want something small and easy to complete, quick to complete, and you're not really sure what you want to color, this would be a really good one. You could even break these up into doing one a day or something. Just taking an extra 5 or 10 minutes. That kind of seems to be what this book's all about. So, some really cute images in here. In looking at the artist and remembering what Butterfly Mandalas looks like, this is definitely her style of line art, and I really like it. I'd say medium to dark line art lines in these. Now there you go. You want a relaxing image. That's a relaxing image right there. Of course, your drink of choice would be in the coconut, I suppose. Oh my gosh, coconut water. Okay, so I know coconut water is like a big deal, or at least it was at one point in time. And we had ordered something from Amazon, and we ended up, you know, every now and then you get a random box of stuff you didn't order. And when you call, they tell you really just to kind of keep it. These are cute. That is what happened here. And we got this thing of these little boxes, like the juice box type boxes of coconut water or coconut milk, or I know it's a huge difference. It's got to be coconut water. Anyway, I'd heard people talk about it. Never had any desire to try it, but you know, hey, we got this free little thing of it. Might as well try some. I tried it, and I tried it blended with stuff, and oh my god, that stuff was gross. For those of you that like it, I'm glad. I wish I had known somebody I could give it to, but oh my word, it was, ugh. I shudder to think. Those were not good memories. And, yeah, so, not again. Not again. It wasn't coconut milk, it was coconut water. I didn't get it. Maybe you're supposed to mix it a certain way, or do it with something, mix it in with something else, but, oh, my goodness. Kitty sighting. That's cute. Though if I was on a swing with those thin lines holding it up, I'd be pretty concerned the thing would snap. So you could do a flip-through book of it. You could have me swinging on the swing, and then as you flip like this through it, you see me slowly falling down on my butt as the swing actually busts. It would be I don't know if it'd be calming, but it sure would be entertaining. And sometimes you just need entertaining. And see, this right here, this is why I don't like dessert books, because now I want ice cream. It's just not right. It's not fair. This is like my book pile, a wide variety of book types. You've got Hamlet next to gardening. I mean, that's, yeah. Some cute themed pictures in here. If you're not somebody that likes really tiny, tiny details, this may not be the ideal book for you. Because some of these pictures you could probably get by without them getting into the real super detail work, but for like, if you just wanted to leave these little puffs on this pillowcase white, that'd be fine. But if you wanted to get in there, you'd have to use like a fine liner or a really sharp colored pencil. Even my tiny hands, this is a little bit of a challenge for me. So, the price of these books is typically way higher than it should be, in my opinion. The paper quality is good. I can see why. It may be kind of perforated in the binding, or it may be that it's just coming apart in the binding, so keep that in mind. If I'm not mistaken, was this book like $9.99 normally? You'd think I would have looked that up before I started this. They had it way marked down, and then I had the rewards thing. I think it was originally $14 and then I got $10 off. So I think this was marked down half, maybe. Of course, I didn't realize how small of a book it was, and that makes the regular price even more, makes me even more hesitant on the regular price. If you like these type of smaller books like this, if you're buying them from the Dover site, I would suggest waiting for some of their really good sales on these books in particular. And I'm going to look that up in a minute because it's going to bother me if I don't. I don't want to tell y'all something that ain't right. I love my Dover books and I don't want to be telling a fib on them if it is indeed a different price. Nope, they are $9.99. Regular price. That might be, it might be worth it to you. Like I said, this is actually really good. This is good, thick, quality paper. But here's the very back of it, where you've got your little design in blue again. And here is the actual back, which has a quote. And it's right here on the back too. $9.99. Due to the size of this book, I would suggest waiting on a sale for it, to be honest. I mean, I like it a lot. It's just $10 is a lot to pay for a book that's not even half the size of a normal coloring book. So, to me, my opinion, y'all may disagree. And that's why I'm showing it to you. I don't police grown folk, and I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I'm just giving you the facts. This is from Book Outlet, and this is a little different. This is from a series called Moodles, and it says Moodles presents Grumpy. Moodles are doodles with the power to change your mood. As soon as I saw the word grumpy, I thought, okay, this might be my kind of book. The front of it is, the design on it is raised a little bit, and you can see it here on the inside of the book too, where it's been kind of stamped a little. So this is kind of a coloring book, kind of a doodle book. This is also by Parragon, which I have done a few of Parragon books before, though I've never done one in the Moodle series. What is a Moodle? Well, a Moodle is just a doodle with the power to change your mood. Change your mood. Yep. Okay, for some reason I was thinking it was running on to the next page. Cheaper in therapy, quicker than chanting. Chakras, tastier than a cabbage leaf. And sandpaper detox. Okay, I didn't realize that was a thing. Is there a sandpaper detox? Because if there is, I must really be out of the loop. Okay, this part though, I would rather have the chocolate cake. That's just Anyway, so if you've seen the books like Wreck This Journal, that's what it's called. That series of books, this is kind of similar to that in that you end up kind of doodling down your feelings in a way. Like, Moodle your grumpiest frown in the middle of the page, then turn the book upside down. Now draw in the rest of your face. Voila. Draw one thing that really brought you down today. So this isn't as much a coloring book as it is kind of a journal, a drawing journal. So scribble your frustration on this page, erase it, repeat until all anger is erased. See, this is the problem. If you bear down hard enough, it's going to be really hard to erase it. And if I'm that mad, then that's probably what I'm going to be doing. So here's where some of the coloring comes into play. So color all the grass green. There is some coloring in these books. So this page has given you lemons, so why not make lemonade? You could draw lemons. You could pound some lemons onto this page. I don't know. I would probably veer more towards pounding lemons on the page, but anyway, this looks fun. It's different. Make your own fortune teller. Make every fortune fortunate. Knowing my luck, I cut this out and put it together and actually use it, and like some word that's actually not on this thing would show up and be like, nope, it sucks. Anyway, acknowledge your moods. Moodle yourself as a flower. Counting 10. Bad Moodle demon. Oh Lord. Draw a ginormous grin on this face. Cuddle on the dotted line and wear his mask. Okay, I'm sorry, this is terrifying. If this is like moodling your fears, let's moodle this fear, because I don't know if that's an anger. I don't know if that's going to help me not be grumpy. It might help me, like, have nightmares, maybe. I don't know. I guess if I'm not grumpy, if I'm having nightmares, or maybe I am. I don't know. Draw the word grumpy. Draw 3 things lost. Favorite punchlines. I need more than one page for that. Oh my gosh. There's so many, like, just smart aleck things I can envision for these pages already. Well, this is entertaining, if nothing else. Fantasy calendar. Mine would just have sleep all the way across it. Nothing but sleep. Just sleep, sleep, sleep. Know someone's face you'd really like to rearrange. We'll sketch them, then cuddle on the dotted lines and reconstruct into an abstract arrangement. Oh boy. I'm gonna flip through these a little faster and try to grab a couple here and there. Draw as if you were 4 3/4 years old. I think that's me drawing at 37 at this point. I'm not very good at drawing at all. I don't know if that would make me happier actually drawing then, because I don't know what in the world happened there. That might be why I was on Book Outlet. Grumpy gills. Moodle with your eyes closed. Well, then I'd be drawing on the book, the desk, the cat. Again, drawing my smile might end up being terrifying. Draw around your toes and then moodle them into a family of foxes. Oh boy. Moodle all your mess. My mess wouldn't fit on those shelves. Cosmic black hole. Again, there's not enough room on this paper for what I'd throw in there. Okay, this looks like after school lines. Like, that seems more of a punishment. Oh, goodness. And this, I actually really like these and like the Wreck Your Journal ones. My art teacher, when I was taking art lessons, really recommended those to me because one of the biggest problems I had that I had really took away from my art lessons was kind of getting my creative side going. I had kept it pushed down for so long. I hadn't really used it all that much, and I had to get more comfortable with the stuff I wanted to try. Moodle your pet peeve, then cut out, pin up, and take aim. Can we just put a picture there? Problem is, I'd have to get a new one a week. Like, and then if we're talking darts, again, accidentally hitting a cat with the dart, that would not be good. Oh, draw your week's forecast. See, will the sun come out tomorrow? The way the season is right now, this would not help my mood because it'd be nothing but rain, cold, and snow. Yeah, evidently the weekends that I plan to travel are the weekends that it finally decides it's going to snow. So, draw your personality. Can I just leave the page blank? They need a self-deprecating moodlet journal. That one I could probably use. I could probably use it quite a bit. Draw someone you think could do with a good slap. Again, there's not enough room on that page. Don't tell me to get back in bed, because I will do that literally. We're almost there. Oh my gosh, have we really only went through 2 books? Oh, Lord. Is this normal? Like, I looked up and realized 20 minutes had went by, and I was like, oh no. I don't feel like I normally go this slow. We're going to have to speed things up a bit. Anyway. Cute book. I think I paid just a couple bucks for it. Just thought it was something a little different. I've noted numerous times on here how much I like Dolly Parton and how much I like the different quotes they have for her. And I've been seeing this one for a while on Book Outlet, but hadn't really gotten around to trying it until now. Now, this is a smaller book. Again, it is a thicker book now than, say, like a Creative Haven one. As you can see, significantly thicker, but in terms of height and width, is probably, what, 60% the size of a book, normal book. So, you do get more pages. It's just a smaller overall book. This is illustrated by Kimma Parish. Hopefully I said that right. Dolly Parton, Wit and Wisdom to Color and Display. And like I said, we're going to try to move a little faster this time. Introduction, it gives a little bit of an autobiography on Dolly Parton. Talks about her charitable efforts. This is a whole deal just to kind of take some of her famous quotes and song lyrics and put images to them that you can color with. You can color. Oh my goodness. And she's kind of a smart aleck, so I guess that's why I like her so much. It's not a super dark line art. I mean, it kind of is, but it's just ever so slightly faded. I mean, she is from Tennessee, so she already had that going for her, but one of my favorite books is one of her autobiographies that's really hard to find now. I happened to find it in a used bookstore, and I got really lucky on that one. I like that one a lot. I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb, and I also know I'm not blonde. And if they do lyrics, they'll note which song it's from. 9 to 5 is probably one of my favorite songs. I actually really enjoyed the movie too. If you've never seen it, it's Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin. And it is one of my favorite nostalgic movies. I finally got a copy, and every now and then I'll end up watching it. And I really like that one. Always have. I love the song, but I think I liked the movie way before I even really started listening to the song on its own. Rhinestone Cowboy isn't that bad either. I know she wasn't particularly happy with how things went on the set for that, but the movie itself really isn't that bad. I don't know. I guess I kind of get it. Like I make cracks about myself all the time too, and I don't know. I just kind of get when she makes jokes like that. And these are, I would, again, like with some of these butterflies that are really small, I'd either make them all one color or I'd have to use fine liners or ultra fine points or something to get to those gel pens maybe. But they're not super complex images, which is nice too. I like this one a lot. I'm getting to this point. Every year that goes by, I joke about my filter and how it disappears late at night. Like, my filter overall, as I continue to age, slowly disappears. So, like, 20 years from now, there is no telling what I'm going to be like. And this is the thing, as much as she makes jokes about herself, she also has a lot of positive things to say about herself, and that's the one thing I personally struggle with. I don't have enough good things to say about myself, and that's definitely the part I need to work on. Like I said, it's a really good sized book in terms of the number of pages you have. Reminds me of this is probably for the Coat of Many Colors song that she talks about. She actually tells the story of where she got that song from her childhood. Her mom had made her a coat, and of course, they didn't have a whole lot of money, so she had to make it out of a number of scraps. And Dolly wore that to school and was like super proud of it. And of course, the other kids made fun of her, and she couldn't get it because she thought it was the most beautiful coat ever as a kid. And I like this one a lot. That may be one. Are these perforated? Yes, indeed, these are perforated. And they're single-sided. Of course, I didn't mention that, but y'all kind of got that. Anyway, that's where the idea for the song came from, which I thought was really cool. Because her mom would tell her about the story about Joseph, and that was part of it, too, so... Didn't I just talk about nightmares? Goodness. 30 minutes and we hadn't even got through 3 books. This might be a new record for me. That's when I need to, like, color and put in some, like, weird time capsule open 20 years from now or something. Wow. Something else I need to work on. I think I've done 9 to 5 in karaoke before. That's one of the reasons I like the movie Dumpling, because I mean it's just Dolly Parton songs throughout, and I'm in hog heaven and when I watch that movie. A lot of good quotes in here. And it's funny, I don't know, most people seem to be rather surprised that I admire her so much, because I'm a very low maintenance kind of person, and she is definitely all about being dolled up. Dolled up, haha. She's all about having makeup and everything on when she's seen in public, and you would think that we couldn't be two people further apart, but because I'm just not that. No, I ain't got enough energy to be that concerned when I go out in public. But the thing is, though, when it comes down to her actual character, that's what I really admire her for, and how much she's given back to her community and to a lot of the programs that she funds. And just that she just doesn't care what people think. I ain't God and I ain't running for office. That's the truth. And I think that's a good lesson overall, is that it doesn't really matter. Don't judge me by the cover, because I'm a real good book. I don't know. To me, that seems like a larger lesson there, is don't necessarily judge someone right off the bat for how they look. You know, you could have a lot more in common with them at their core than you think you would. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see that one. There ain't no crystal ball. And that's it. Very cool. I like that one a lot. That's going to be one that I can work on a little bit at a time. Maybe these other ones will go a little faster. These aren't as thick as the other books. That might be also what set me off, was just they were smaller books, but they were thicker ones. Alright, this is the Lowcountry coloring book, Charleston, Savannah, the Sea Islands, and beyond. So this is also a smaller overall book. It is probably also about maybe closer to 70% of a average size coloring book. 44 drawings. You can combine to make 16-inch foursquare portraits, which is kind of a cool idea. I did not notice that when I first got the book. A little bit thicker than, well, you can hardly tell the difference. There you go. Than a creative paper book. This is another one I've had my eye on for a while, and just finally decided I wanted to go ahead and get it. Introduction about the artist, Melissa Conroy. Talks about growing up in South Carolina, and then driving to Savannah. So she wanted to do a lot of art back from where she was growing up and areas like that. I'm not going to read the full description, but if I'm not mistaken, there is These are single-sided pages, I believe. And I believe some sections have a title page on this. Like this one's from the castle, which is a private home in a neighborhood called The Point. It says, some believe the castle is haunted by a dwarf jester named Gauche, who arrived with a band of French explorers in 1562. Sorry, that whole sentence was like just a joke. My brain could not process that sentence fully as intended. There were just little bits, like, yeah. Anyway, no commentary. It says, can you find him? Which means, I guess, that she must have drew him in here somewhere. Let me back this out a little bit so we can see it better. There we go. I really like the art in this book. Some areas you may have a little trouble getting into without like a really sharp colored pencil or a fine liner, like if you wanted to color the ruffles of her dress or some of the shutters here, but overall it's not a super detailed image. Okay, sorry, I'm a little confused here. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what it's telling me I can do. Oh. That seems odd. There's only part of it. Where's the other part? Oh, wait. I bet it's the next one, isn't it? Yep. Okay, so the way this works is you can take these two here, these two images, and combine them with these two images here. And that's what it's showing right here. There's a couple different ways you can do that. You can, this is the way my brain would have put it together. But you could also put it together like that and make it look like two different houses and two different trees. How cool is that? That really like changes a lot of this book for me because I was a little confused at the beginning. Yeah, each section, each combo of pictures like that has a introduction section. So Hunting Island State Park. And again, it shows how this one and the next set would go together. That's why they're one-sided. And that way you can pull them out. The only downside to this is I do not see a perforation in here. So this would involve probably getting really into the binding of this book. Oh, it looks like it tears out pretty easily. I don't know if you can really see where I've done that. I'll pull just a little more. Oh yeah, it separates very easily from the binding. So you would be able to take all 4 images out and put them together. And raccoons. Yeah, that one looks a little scurry. Wait a minute. Okay, I gotta see this combination. I said we were going faster, and that is not what seems to be happening. That would be a really interesting way to put it together. Like, this would be what I guess my normal brain would put it is in this order. But this one actually, the design, way it bleeds into that is just really cool. Sorry. now I'm really getting into this book. Shrimp boats. So we got that combo of pictures. And we've got that combo of pictures. These are super cool. Now that I've figured out what's going on. These are the different combos. I mean, really, you can make up a paint what you wanted, but I guess these are just suggestions. Marsh, Sea Islands. You got these two. And these two. You got Snick there. And then the different combos. the way you put them together, like the different tiles and the composition of them, it really, I would love to take 4 of those, and you wouldn't even have to put them together into one whole piece. I'd love to frame each 4 individually and like just group them close to each other. I think that would look really cool. Plus, you can mix them up any way you wanted to. And here's the other set. Finished looks. I think that's the best way to do this. This one's in Savannah. Looks like a cemetery. Bonaventure? Boy, I probably messed that one up. Wow. Those statues are cool, yet kinda creepy. River Street in Savannah. Oh, so this is an actual, it's kind of like a map, maybe? And then it shows some of the frontage. Or maybe that just happens to be the side of a building. I'm not 100% sure. It's real, like, the longer I look at these pictures, the more interesting they get. Charleston. The other half. And then your combos. It's definitely different. This really makes this stand out. When I first looked at it, I really just didn't get it. Historic downtown. Had I known this was the case, I probably would have bought this sooner. Now this one looks like this would be, this set of pages maybe not as detailed, but the other two would be very detailed work. Alright. I think we got one more. Lowcountry Ruins in South Carolina. We've got that section, and we've got that section, and then together. And that is the last one here, and gives a little info on Melissa Conroy in the back. Very cool book, very unique. I must not have paid much attention to that. The pictures themselves are gorgeous, and honestly, I could pull them out of the book as is and put them together, and if I did that with some simple black and white framing, it would look really good. But I think that's a really cool touch to it. Y'all knew we weren't going to be getting through this without a cat book, right? So this is another one from Book Outlet that I've had my eye on for a while. It's Color Me Cat. It is a color by number book. A little bit different because it's more of a geometric type of artwork, as you can see here on the front cover. And this shows, I guess, what some of the completed pictures look like, and then it's just a really cool design. This one reminds me a lot of my parents' cat, Mira. I think Ragdoll? I think that's right. They actually found her at... That looks like Annie, except for the ears. That must be a Scottish fold. But if Annie had the curved ears, that would look just like her. So this is a Trianimals book. This is the artist, and I will try to be... I'm not even going to try to go there, because I'm going to mess it up. So, there you go. Welcome to Trianimals. Is this? Yeah, that's the next page. So this shows you what some of these, your finished pictures are going to look like. I'll try not to look at them too much because I like to kind of surprise myself with these. Oh, this looks like fun. Look at that Siamese. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, it's an American curl. It's not a Scottish fold. American curl. Come on, Michelle. Get with it. You should know your breeds of cats. Sheesh. It's raining cats. Alright, so it says, it gives you some techniques using the color palette, what kind of materials to use, look for the animal's natural color palette at the top of each image. There's an experimental color palette at the bottom. So there's going to be two. This is going to be the natural coloring. This is going to be if you want to do something a little different. They have some suggestions about the palette. No number. If the triangle doesn't have a number, the area is white. There's no need colored in. Freestyling. There are color me in versions of the openers for each section. These cats have been left unnumbered, so you can let your imagination run wild. Sorry. This is your chance to experiment with different colors and techniques. Think about your shading. To achieve a darker shade, try layering your color. That would be typically what you want to do with colored pencils. So, this was another one I kept going back and forth on. I really wasn't 100% sure, but I'm glad I got it now. Now these are the ones that aren't numbered, so you can either go with this as a reference or just make your own. Make your own colors. That would be the challenge there. But here is, so here are the pages, and they look really complex on camera. It's basically just a color by number set in more of a geometric shape artwork than just the actual cat's normal soft look. So you have their natural palette. Sorry about that. You have their natural palette at the top, and then you have what they're calling a vivid palette down here, which is something you can use if you want some different colors and you don't really want to have to pick them yourself. I'm sure it's called a toger, but I want to call it a toiger just because that sounds more fun. The Bengal one I like a lot. This is the Bengal one. You got your Russian blue. So I'm going to move these a little quicker just because it's going to be hard to see. Except for these where the head itself is like, has white space around it. It's kind of hard to see. This is a Savannah, which is actually, I guess, what you call an exotic cat. So different poses, different types of images, which is nice. Norwegian forest cat. I've always kind of wanted either one of those or a Maine Coon. But my mix of cats is plenty for me. These ones with the frame are a little harder to see, I think. So here's a Scottish fold, which is what I was talking about earlier. And then here you can actually freestyle your own colors. So you could kind of, it was talking about a pop art kind of look. You could do different colors with these. Heck, you could fill it all in with one color if you wanted to. Just make their eyes different. Tabby. Might do the tabby first. There's the ragdoll. So these are double-sided, which is a bit of a bummer. I would recommend testing if you're going to try to use markers, but something tells me alcohol markers will bleed through. That right there is the biggest drawback to this book. With these types of pictures, I would have much rather the pictures be single-sided. And they may not have been able to fit as many breeds in it, which is understandable, but I would have rather had fewer breeds and more. Yeah, there you go, Michelle. Delete the entire video. That would be a good start. I'd rather have that myself just because then I could use whatever I wanted and I wouldn't have to worry about bleed through. I said I was going a little faster through these, but not so much. Turkish Angora, which is, I believe, cleaning himself. I think that's a leg hiked up in the air. Good gracious, I can't tell. Good sized book. It reminds me of a Joanna Bastard book when I think of the size, like the length and the width of it. A little bit of an awkward size if you're trying to turn the book on a normal desk, at least for me, the way my desk is set up, but very small complaint. Maine Coon. Yeah, I can't go back out any farther, so we'll try to do it this way. It's a Burman on the left. Scottish Straight on the left, since y'all can't see the name for those. Cornish Rex on the left. I think y'all can see the other side. Oh. Japanese Bobtail. American Curl. And this is an Oriental Shorthair. Here's another one where you can kind of freestyle the Egyptian Mao. Mao. I hope it's pronounced Mao. That would have to be right, because that's the sound Quixote makes. Even though he's not a Mao, he makes the meow sound. Meow sound, excuse me. I mispronounced it. Oh no. Man, I am a smart aleck today. That is a Coret to the left. Gosh. These are some, like, chunky books today. I am used to running through a lot of thinner books at once, and I think that's really what's thrown me off today, is these have been very substantial books. Turkish Fan on the left, Siberian on the right. Snowshoe. Maybe Snowshoe. It's either a ragdoll or a snowshoe, but I'm pretty sure she's a ragdoll. Mira. That is one cat that just doesn't seem to like anybody but my parents and my brother. Usually I can woo a cat to my side, and she just ain't having it. You think I spoiled mine? Oh my goodness. British short hair on the left. Highlander on the left. I've always thought the La Perm cats look really cool. Like they just had too many perms done to their hair, which I guess is one of the reasons they're called that. Here's the Siamese picture I was talking about. I really like. These aren't super small numbers. I would say this is probably a medium. Here's another freestyle one that you could either color to match this or color for in your own way. Now that right there looks like Annie, though her eyes are more yellow than green. Same with Tiger. She looks like Tiger and Scamper had a kitten. Oh my gosh, we have cat masks. Oh my gosh, welp. That's it. We're just gonna stop here and admire. You can make a mask, take a picture of it. I guess you could take a picture of any of these on Instagram and then use the hashtag Trianimals. These are masks that you can cut out. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, there's the side that shows you how to cut. I am guaranteed to scare the crap out of my cats with one of these masks. I'm not going to do it because that would just be mean. But I cannot lie and say I'm not tempted. Well, this is a nice little addition. I like this. Well, don't have to worry about Halloween for the next, like, decade. It says you can embellish it with fur and probably, like, little rhinestones and stuff. You could be one sparkly Peterbald. Oh my gosh. And they still have the natural versus vivid palettes on these, which I think is really cool. And finally we have the Himalayan, which my first husband, his mom, had Himalayans. She loved Himalayans. Probably still does, I'm sure. And there is that one. You get cat masks, people. Cat masks. Hi. Anyway. Alright. Here's the other Creative Haven book I got. And again, this one caught my interest because their color by number books are also a little expensive, and I understand a little more now because usually their color by number books have a lot more images in them than their other standard Creative Haven books. So they have a little more, a little more time and effort has had to be put in with the numbers, and I can get that. I can get behind these being $10, though I still try to wait for them to go on sale, which was the case with this one. Because we are doing Mandala Mania in March. March Mandala Mania. Say that 3 times fast. Like I didn't do that on purpose. Come on. Anyway, and then you got Marker Madness. A March Marker Madness over at the Bibliophile Colorist. So, a lot of M's happening here. I got this one for that, and of course, just to have. This is by Shala, Kerrigan, and I don't believe I own any other books by that artist. So, here is an example of what they look like, and then you get your color legend here. Normally they're color by number books. Instead of having like 30 something, they have 46 designs. As with all Creative Haven books, these are perforated, they are single-sided, and it is the standard Creative Haven paper. Oh my word, that is tiny, tiny text. Where to go? This is where my best friend comes into play. This is my best friend. See, look. I'm going to be using this a lot in this book. I better get some batteries. Woo! Yep. So, I've shown some Creative Haven color by number books before, and some of them have maybe medium-sized numbers, maybe not quite as detailed, but this one has the tiny, tiny numbers. If you have trouble with that, or you still have trouble even with a magnifying glass, these may not be the books for you. This will be a struggle for me. Even, I have this, but even there, it's going to really take some focus to see these. Because like all these little swirls right here, if I can show them, all those little swirls, the lines within the swirls are all different colors. So, if y'all want a mandala challenge, I have the perfect book for you. This would require some fine liner, gel pen, like just a really, really ultra fine tip to get into. This one's not as detailed. So they do, and this one isn't either. So they do have a variety, which is good. The line art is also lighter, so I can already tell it's a little harder to see it. Let me zoom in. Sorry about that. There. You can see it a little better that way. So if you like darker line art, this may not be the book for you. I think most of the color by numbers have the softer lines. Ones with little owls, which is cute. I'm sure these look incredible when they're done, but shoo, it's going to be some work. We will at least be doing one from this book that month, though. If not more, but definitely one. We got snails. I like the variety. There's some that are way more detailed, others not so much. You have some animals featured. In others, you've got more like geometric type shapes. Got cupcakes in this one. Now this one looks a little more simplistic. I don't think there's a number on the background, so like you have the border and the cupcakes and all the little, I'm assuming, sprinkles around it. I apologize if it's really hard to see the lines on this. don't know if it just happens to be my light today or I'm just noticing it right now, but you got one with the moons and stars. The moons and stars on it. The moons, like we have multiple. I guess. Well, never mind. That's gonna blow minds, so we'll just leave that one alone. Keys. This one looks, I would say, kind of middle of the road. It's a little bit of complexity to it, but it's not. The numbers are a little bigger on this one, so it's a little easier to see. Unlike this one, where they're really back to tiny again. So, there are some in here where the numbers are a little bigger. I still would say if you have a lot of trouble seeing these size numbers, that this might be a bit too much for you. If you have like eyesight issues, I'm gonna have to use the magnifying glass for this one. I will have to pick one that doesn't require the magnifying glass if I'm coloring it on camera, because I don't think y'all want to see me for like an hour doing this the whole time. I don't know, maybe you would. I wouldn't think so, but and all these little lines are different colors. So now once you get a pattern in place, these would be easier to do. It's just finding that initial pattern. Ooh, that one looked cool done. Yeah, these smaller ones with the bubbles and the swirlies are a little intimidating. I don't know if those are relaxing or they make me more nervous. Woo! Not that complicated, it's just detail work. Like, these are all alternating numbers in each circle, I believe. So overall, they're not like complex per se, they're just incredibly detailed and will probably take some time to complete. I know that Sun Life Drawing, I think, makes a mandala color by number book that isn't quite as detailed as this. I think the numbers are a little bigger if you're looking for that kind of book and you need the bigger numbers. That might be a better selection. But if you're like me and you're stubborn and you want a bit of a challenge, and again, I got this and the Joy book, and these are normally $10 a piece. With the Dover Rewards coupon I had, I got both of them for $4. So can't beat that. I mean, that was the reason I made the exception, just because it was a really good deal. It was on sale. So I keep telling them, I need to print that out. I need to print that out in a way I can color it in and stick it up on the wall, because I keep saying that. Now, I'm assuming the areas that aren't numbered are areas you would leave white. Check. There's no white on the legend, so that's my assumption. Yep. It doesn't really say, but my assumption is if it's a blank area, you just leave it white, because there's no white on the official legend. So that's kind of cool. That'd be like trees in the woods and then like a night sky. That would look cool. Oh, whoa mama. I don't know when I would ever get to that one, unless I just want to torment myself. They can be relaxing once I figure out the pattern, but something like that, oh my gosh, so intimidating. Don't you even think about it, Oreo. I'm almost done. Do not come over here. We're already at an hour and I'm not even done yet. We got one more book. Nope. Oreo's trying to come over here. I know you were all like, let the poor cat over here. But y'all don't understand. They're over here all the time. So I could not end this without a good, fun coloring book. And I saw this one on Book Outlet, and I just couldn't help it. Love Die Hard. Love Alan Rickman. course, Die Hard's Christmas movie in this household, and they had this one on sale on Book Outlet, and I just couldn't resist it. It is the Authorized Coloring and Activity book for the Die Hard movie. It is by Doogie Horner. Hang on, let me see if I can get the mic. Now this is your average size coloring book. Oh, okay, there it is. So the double pages kind of go into the crease, which stinks. I don't particularly like that, but Harper Design. All the copyright info. Here you got John McClane. And oh, it's just scenes from the movie from pretty much start till end. And then you've got quotes from the movie too. Well, you could get really creative with this scene. I know some of y'all that aren't big fans of the Die Hard movie probably have no interest in this book, but I just thought it was great. I really did. They did such a good job with scenes from the movie. Always blows my mind every time I watch it that it is indeed Alan Rickman. That bear knows what's up. Of course, it is late 80s, and I was an 80s baby, so some of this may be nostalgia on my part. I would assume... Sorry. Can you connect the dots to see what message of Christmas cheer John McClane has written on Tony's shirt? So it's an activity book too, guys. It's not just coloring. Like you get all kinds of coolness with this. Now, I would highly suggest that if the themes of the movie make you uncomfortable or something that you don't want to let your kids watch, I would suggest not letting them look through this book. Because obviously there are going to be guns, there are going to be people dying, and so on and so forth. This was what sold it for me, was this one. John just killed Carl's brother. Draw Carl's face to show how he feels about that. I saw that on the Amazon reviews, and I was like, that's it. This is my book right here. I don't like that it goes into the binding. That might be the biggest critique I have. And some of the faces do look strange to me, but I've noticed that before with some of the other books like this, and once you actually color in the people, it looks more like them. So here you go. Die Hard needs to air on network TV tonight, but the movie has too much cursing. Can you help the censors seamlessly edit the offensive words from the dialogue? Here you go. Here's your way to make it PG. Right here. Wow. That is a lot more than I thought there were. Yep. A lot more than I thought there were. So there you go. I learned something too. Look on his face. Okay, that one might be a little different, but oh, we have, oh goodness, what is his name in the movie? How can I not remember this? Of course I don't remember. But he also plays Winslow, Carl Winslow on Family Matters. That actor, and I can't think of the actor's name either, but John McClane's feet hurt. Can you help him find a matching pair of shoes? Okay, there are a few books, coloring books out there that if somebody was like, what coloring books are there that exist that show your a part of your personality? The sarcasm in this book would be make this book one of them. And then that spooktacular book that I love so much that has all the puns in it, that would be another one. Just the smart aleckiness of this. Bingo hard. Just when you thought Die Hard couldn't get any more exciting, now you can play bingo while you watch it. How did I did not have this when we watched it. I've got to remember this. I've got to remember this next year. I've got to remember it. Or whenever we watch it again. I know. Again, probably not, does not have themes that would go along with young kids. The 80s were a different time, though. My family and I were all about action movies growing up, so. And my dad, for a number of years, really looked like Bruce Willis, so. Here's a maze. There's glass all over the floor, and poor John McClane isn't wearing any shoes. Can you help him get to the exit without cutting his feet? I love the things in his way. Ooh. See, some of these, yeah. These are not one-sided. The paper, oddly enough, though, is pretty smooth. And it's, not super thin. I mean, obviously alcohol markers would, okay, I have an issue with feet. So, these pictures will probably never be colored. Because just, ew. Anyway. This actually, I mean, alcohol markers bleed through everything. But these actually aren't bad quality with the paper. It's pretty decent quality paper. C4 explosives. Hans wants to blow the roof, but he doesn't know which detonator button's connected to the C4. Can you help him choose the right one? All the solutions are on the last page, by the way. Oh, that was... I think this book sums up the scenes pretty well, actually. If you needed a gist of what the movie's about, like, if you don't ever want to watch it, this would pretty much, I think, get it for you. Definitely not super detailed. This scene's really cool, because they have this sort of indoor kind of garden, waterfall, place in the movie. And it actually looks really cool. I mean, this was the 80s. This would probably be the first one I would actually color. We're going to need some more FBI guys, I guess. Oh, I hope that's not a hostage. So this... I was really hoping they would include one from this, and I don't mind this part of it, but when he first lets go of the window, and I mean, some of y'all might be crying spoilers, but hey, you know what? This movie's been out long enough. If you haven't watched it yet, I am sorry. Yeah, the going into the binding part's really the only criticism I have on this book. And then it's got the puzzle solutions. And the puzzle solutions are pretty smart at alecky too. Actually, hang on, let me grab my Butterfly Mandalas book again. It is just a tiny bit wider than a regular average size coloring book. I thought it felt a little off, so anyway guys, that's pretty much it. On that note, I'm glad I put that one at the end, so if you guys want to bounce around on timestamps or don't really want to watch that one at the end, you can just go ahead and stop it. That's fine, I understand. That's just not some people's cup of tea. So that is a very long Flip-through Friday. Again, Can't really understand why it took so long, except I just probably went a lot slower than I normally do. Do not know where that little other coloring book went, the Joy one. I officially stuck that somewhere, and I can't remember where. So it's around here. I'll find it. Hope you guys oh, there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will have timestamps and links as per usual in the description. And hope everybody has a good Friday. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.